Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Alright, some updates on my Lego projects. I want you to continue to pray for me. This is a famous mathematical puzzle called the Leaning Tower of Lyra. The idea is to balance your bricks, these are identical size and weight bricks, in such a way to maximize the overhang of the last brick. And the pattern goes that the first one is offset by 1/2, the second one by 1/4, and then a sixth, an eighth, a tenth, and so on. The trick is to have the Lego bricks big enough that it's divisible by all of these numbers. So I believe this is 120, and it consists of many bricks jammed together. And the reason for 120 is that it's divisible by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And so you can create the Tower of Lyra. 1764 total parts. And it looks very simple, which is why I think it might be a novel idea for Lego Ideas. I'll probably submit this one next. I still need to work on my periodic table. Hold on. Lego said I wasn't very descriptive enough about this. Here's a periodic table with a visual interpretation of how rare each of these elements are, and trying to match the color as much as I can. So if this is how much gold we mine every year, gold, and that's how much bismuth we mine every year. That one's tin, indium, cadmium, and silver. Notice how cadmium is almost as rare as silver, but it costs like $5 a pound, right? This is a periodic table just like this one was the catalyst for why I started making art out of various metals, and then I got into Lego Ideas, and that's why I want to return the favor. That tower right there is bromine, actually. I also made a few Lego builds of various games that I like. Here's a Scrabble, but it's the big version, 21 by 21 of Scrabble, using various tiles to form the shapes for the bricks as well as the board. Still working on this. It's got 2792 bricks so far. Yesterday I showed you guys the Christmas tree. Let me show you the progress on that. I'm working on it a little bit at a time. Right now it's got almost 3,000 bricks. I hope to keep going until I have 5,000, which is the limit for Lego Ideas. I figured out a few more. Wait, that's not it. That's the old one. I figured out how to use all of the plant pieces as well as many colors. So right now it's got 40 different colors. I believe it's got 200 different kinds of tiles. And it's got 3,001 parts so far. And then for my architecture, I'm working on... let me show you the original. This is the Turtle Tower in Hanoi, Vietnam. It's an ancient palace. It's kind of on an island right there. I guess I could also build the island as well after I'm done with the tower. And what do I have so far? I have a lot of people complain, and this is where I run into a lot of difficulty at my workplaces. I have a tendency to start a million things, and people complain that I never finish. The truth is that as time goes on, more and more of the things that I start come off the other end of the conveyor belt. Unfortunately, it doesn't often work at a lot of workplaces, right? There's a tendency to for the direction in my job to change before the things can come off the conveyor belt, and I run into a lot of trouble with that. In fact, if you go to my Lego Ideas page, I have a lot of drafts up there. Oftentimes, I get something rejected, and instead of fixing that, I'm more motivated to start something else instead, right? So, as the number of accepted projects I have goes up, the number of drafts also goes up at an exponential rate as well. But that's okay. Other things tend to come off the conveyor belt. Look, I got well, the Beckett Towers. I'm gonna have to rename that and kind of restructure a little bit so it's not the actual Beckett Towers because they're upset that it was a war memorial. Same thing with the Russian architecture. Same thing with the Mondrian victory. But instead of going ahead and fixing that, I end up just submitting other crap, right? And unfortunately, this is the kind of drama that causes me to lose my job because a lot of times before things can start coming off the other end of the conveyor belt, either the job no longer exists or something happens. I've run into a lot. I used to work for a technology startup, and I ran into that kind of drama. The other thing is obviously life itself will end someday, right? And the chances are I'll have thousands and thousands of things over here, as well as thousands and thousands of uncompleted things at home. I've kind of made peace with the idea that some of these projects I'll just have to collaborate with Mary Curry someday on the other side. And that's fine because that's what allows these things to happen, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.